The quiet corner of Connecticut is not going to be quiet tonight as a NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour invades the Thompson Speedway in northern Connecticut. Tonight, Ron Silk comes in with a championship lead that he hopes to extend, but right on his heels is Justin Bonsignore. He's a 12-time winner here at Thompson. Austin Beers might be the hottest driver in modified competition. He just won at Lancaster last time out, moving into third in the championship standings. And Doug Covey, he's got something to prove. A six-time champion and multiple wins here at Thompson, wants to get back in the winner's circle. But who can spoil it all? Matt Hirschman. He's in the field tonight and ready to go to battle. It's a packed house. The fans are here for one thing, and that's modified racing at Thompson Speedway. The Thompson 150, presented by Flow Sports, is next. And hello, everybody. Welcome inside the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. I'm Joe Costa alongside Pete Falcone for tonight's 150-lap race. Pete, this is the birthplace, it seems like, of modified racing here in the Northeast. 151 races tonight of the Whelen Modified Tour here at this racetrack.
So much of the history book in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour has been written right here at Thompson for years and years. As you said, the 151st running. And the question is, do we get a new winner tonight? Do we get a repeat winner? Is it a repeat winner from 2023 or somebody completely different? That's what happens here at Thompson. It's so unpredictable.
The cars are staged along the front straightaway. Let's introduce to you the starting lineup for tonight's Thompson 150, presented by flowsports.com. Starting in the 23rd position in car 01 from Wakefield, New Hampshire, it'll be Melissa Fifield.
22nd spot goes to the Bowie One Seafood and Restaurant entry for number 18, Ken Heggie from Calverton, New York. Next up in the 21st spot, the 26, Max Zackham from Preston, Connecticut.
Starting in the 20th position out of Bay Shore, New York, he sits in the top 5 of the championship standings, number 22, Kyle Bonsignore.
The 19th starting spot goes to the number 24 from Holmdel, New Jersey. It's Andrew Krause.
Starting deep in the field tonight from Northampton, Pennsylvania, multiple wins this season. He drives car number 60. Big money, Matt Hirschman.
17th starting spot goes to the number 6 car, the Koopman Lumber entry from Stafford, Connecticut. It's Woody Pitcat.
For the first time in several years, Eric Burnt drives car number 1 from Cromwell, Connecticut, and he will start tonight in the 16th position.
The 15th starting spot goes to the number 32 from Owego, New York. It's Tyler Ripkema.
Rolling off the grid in 14th from Riverhead, New York in car number 36, Dave Zapienza.
And the 13th starting spot goes to the number 21, another one of the rookies in the field tonight from Newtown, Connecticut, Anthony Bello.
Rolling off the grid in 12th from Rehoboth, Mass, car number 3, Old Blue, Jake Johnson.
The 11th spot goes to the number 46 from Woburn, Mass. It's Anthony Nocella.
Starting inside the top 10, he is a 2-time Thompson Speedway winner. And car number 82 from Miller Place, New York, Craig Lutz.
9th starting spot goes to the number 89 from Acton, Massachusetts, Matt Swanson.
In 8th this evening, driving car number 44 from Franklin, Massachusetts, a 5-time track winner and a multi-time Whelen Modified Tour champion. How about it for Bobby Santos?
17th starting spot goes to the number 58, a winner here at Thompson from Riverhead, New York, Eric Goodale.
Starting in 6th, he is 3rd on the all-time win list here at Thompson Speedway with 12 victories to his credit from Holtzville, New York, driving car number 51, Justin Bonsignore.
Now we're into the top 5, and the 5th starting spot goes to the 07 from Orchard Park, New York, Patrick Emmerling.
With a strong qualifying effort earlier today in car number 19 from Mattawa, New Jersey, driving the 19, Anthony Sesley.
3rd starting spot goes to the number 16, a 3-time winner in 2023. And at the top of the point standings coming into Thompson from Norwalk, Connecticut, it's Ron Silk.
And now for the front row for tonight's event. He drives a 70 York from Milford, Connecticut. A 6-time winner at this racetrack and a 6-time champion of the series, Doug Kobe.
And on the pole tonight, the number 64, setting fast time earlier in qualifying for the Thompson 150 from Northampton, Pennsylvania, Austin Beers.
So the field is now set for the Thompson 150 presented by Flow Sports. Not a better sight in all of modified racing than to see these race cars on this 5/8 mile high-banked racetrack right here in Thompson, Connecticut. This is one of the most intense races that these teams will see and race all year long. You've got to be up on the wheel, at the edge of your seat, elbows up, if you want to be able to go to victory lane. Race fans, it is now time to get this race underway, so we need your help to fire the engines here this evening. We'll count down from 3 and fire the engines here this evening. Race fans, do it with me. 3, 2, 1. Drivers! Oh, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, Pete, has come to life. And you talk about this racetrack, this midsummer race, midweek race. This particular event is one that they all circle on the calendar, not only from the driver's standpoint, but also the fans that have packed this 5/8 mile racetrack here in Thompson, Connecticut. This one here is always a crown jewel event, and always has been. And for some reason, the intensity is always ratcheted up when we come here.
Yeah, and some of it's got to do with the position on the schedule that the NASCAR Modifieds have when they come to Thompson. Always at that point, now taking kind of an eye on the more than the second half, towards the end of the season. This is an important race for anybody that's trying to get up in the standings.
And there's a lot on the line. This championship battle has been very tight, very intense. 4 drivers in the midst of it. Ronnie Silk leading the way, and his success here at this racetrack, his first 3 career victories came right here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. You've got Justin Bonsignor right there, only a handful of points behind. He's a 12-time winner here, and Doug Kobe, who's now in 4th, has got multiple wins at this racetrack as well. But then, hey, enter in Austin Beers, who takes the pole away from these drivers who've got all these starts here when he's not even got a top 10 yet, but he's on the pole today.
No question that Beers is on a hot streak right now, and nothing would be finer for him than to pick up the win here at Thompson, this historical win here in the Thompson 150.
Big race on the line here tonight. For many years, the Whelen Modified Tour Championship came through this racetrack. There were as many as 5 races that were run here at Thompson in a single season several years back. There are 2 races this season, but as you look towards the end of the season, you've got to be strong at one of the biggest racetracks and fastest racetracks that they'll run it all year. But this is also one of the driver's favorites because of the banking and the different lines you could run allows the driver to really influence and finding that extra bit of speed in his race car when he can.
Yeah, they come in here with the notes. So many of these teams have run here before, and they come back and they set the car up to be like it's been in previous races here at Thompson. Then they get the green flag, and it's all different.
So as the field begins to roll, let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Thompson 150 presented by FlowSports.com. On the pole position again this season, Austin Beers will lead the field around. He's a 2-time winner here this season, lines up alongside Doug Kobe, a 6-time winner here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Ron Silk, the championship point leader, he'll start 3rd tonight alongside Anthony Cecily.
This is a good night for Patrick Emmerling to get back into victory lane, and he starts from the 5th spot alongside the big winner here, 3rd on the all-time win list. Justin Bonsignor starts from 6th.
Eric Goodale won the World Series here in the 58 the last time the series was here. Bobby Santos III, he's a 5-time winner here at Thompson. Starting 9th, Matt Swanson, local driver, and Craig Lutz, he's won 2 of the last 3 here at this racetrack.
Anthony Nosella, kind of a local favorite here. This time in the number 46 will go off 11th. And Jake Johnson, an old blue that has so many laps over the years here at Thompson. Johnson in the number 3 starts 12th.
13th, Anthony Bello, a rookie contender alongside Zave Zapienza. Tyler Ripkema, 6th in the standings. He'll line up alongside Eric Byrne, making his first start since 2013.
And, of course, local favorite and always a threat here at Thompson, Woody Pitcat starts from the 17th spot in the number 6, alongside Matt Hirschman, mired back in the lineup, but never count him out, particularly here at Thompson.
Andrew Krause and Kyle Bonsignor, 19th and 20th. Max Zachem, Ken Hagee, and Melissa Fifield rounding out the starting lineup here tonight. Let's take a look at the race analysis. Overcast and now evening skies here in Thompson Speedway. 71 degrees out. It's been a great day, and an action-packed crowd will go 150 laps here tonight. And it'll be an opportunity for teams to come down pit road and get tires beat. Tonight they will race on a tire that is brand new to these teams, and so a bit of a question mark as to how that tire will respond over 150 laps, but all these teams face the same challenge ahead of them here this evening.
Yeah, this is a strategy race for sure. We've seen teams wait it out, wait for a later caution to go for those tires. Some of them come in early and get the business done. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to pick here tonight. As they come around this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's your opportunity to, those of you in the grandstand, to give them a wave. Let them know that you are thrilled to see the stars and cars of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour go 150 laps in the Thompson 150. Let's send them off in Thompson Speedway style.
An outstanding crowd ready to watch the Whelen Modified Tour take to the high banks of Thompson here this evening. The lights of the pace car are out. 150 laps, tires on pit road, means you can be aggressive and you can take control of the race if your car has it under you. That's one of the keys to being able to get to victory lane tonight. Austin Beers has not yet won here at Thompson. In fact, he hasn't even gotten a top 10 finish here at Thompson. But he's on the pole and he's still in the championship hunt. Tonight could be a huge step towards his championship hopes and to keep him in the title hunt. Green flag moments away. Pace car is in as the field rolls off turn number 4 at Thompson. Austin Beers in the outside lane is the pole sitter as the green flag is shown from the top of the flag stand. Opening circuit around, Doug Covey able to lead lap number 1, but Austin Beers is there. He looks to the inside of turn 1, trying to recapture the top spot.
As they do so often, change the lead so often as they do, and here is a trouble over in turn 2. It's going to bring out a caution flag. Looks like everybody's able to get going, but Matt Swanson was right in the middle of that.
Left front tire down on the number 89 for Matt Swanson, and that'll bring out the first caution here. Just 2 laps into the Thompson 1, presented by FlowSports.com, and Swanson limping that car down the back straightaway as Austin Beers had just taken the lead prior to the caution flag coming out. But Doug Covey should be shown the race leader because they did not complete a lap under the green flag.
So they'll re-rack them for the restart as Matt Swanson heads to pit road for service. Don't know if it's any worse than a flat left front, but they'll get a look at it as he pulls up into his pit stall.
This is a long race, and as Swanson comes down pit road, the last winner we had was Eric Goodale, and he had problems very early on in the race, and he actually used that to his advantage to build a strategy that landed him in victory lane. We'll see if Swanson and this team can get this car put back together. We'll take another look at it a bit deeper in the pack. Watch the white number 89 on the left side of your screen, running in the bottom lane of the racetrack. You see the car just took off on him through the center of the corner, and it was contact with another driver that knocked that left front tire flat. So Swanson has since gotten that tire replaced and exits pit lane and rejoins here at the tail end of the field, but did lose up in the process.
Tough break for the young driver from Acton, Massachusetts. Obviously looking to have a good run here in front of his, we'll call it, hometown fans, as this is the convenient speedway for residents of Acton, Mass, and Swanson fans to watch him do his thing, but he'll restart from the back.
The other car involved was the 46 of Anthony Nocella. His car is still on pit road. That was a car that made contact with Matt Swanson, and he's on pit road as Swanson makes another trip down to pit lane.
front end of Nocella's number 46. Looks like they brought a tire out. Actually got it set for the right front. We'll have to wait and see while they continue the service on that car.
There is the Nocella number 46 at the top 3 finish here at Thompson last year. Hood off on that machine, and work continues. You can see that right side, a little bit of damage there, as well as the crew looks on the left front tire of that 46 as well. So just a handful of laps in. We went a lap and a half under the green flag before trouble broke out. Doug Kobe from the inside lane was able to better Austin Beers on that restart and take over the top spot, but a half a lap later, Beers snuck by him at the inside of turns 1 and 2. And you might ask, well, if Austin Beers is a leader, why is he put back to second? Well, NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour competitors only have one scoring loop, and at the last scoring loop, the start-finish line, Doug Kobe was the race leader, and that is why he is being shown out in front here today. They do that because unlike the National Series, where they have different electronic scoring loops around the track, at just about every track that the tour goes to, it's just the start-finish line. So that is why Doug Kobe is showing the way here just 5 laps in. Now, earlier today it was interesting. Austin Beers won the pole position for today's event, and he's won some big races. Won the race at Richmond earlier in the year. Last race, he won at Lancaster Speedway and had to fend off several late race restarts to get the job done, and at the very end, hold off Matt Hirschman for the victory. Earlier in the year, he asked Doug Kobe for a little bit of advice, how to qualify and how to run these different racetracks. And Doug told me earlier today in a joking fashion that, you know what, Austin Beers is off the free advice list. He's out here beating us, and we just can't keep him on that list because he is certainly keeping pace. Austin Beers saw what Doug Kobe did a moment ago on that bottom lane of the restart. He's got no choice as Kobe put him there. We'll see if Beers can do exactly what Kobe did to him on this next start.
Well, he obviously got some good advice, and Doug Kobe can be proud of that. But you're right, the mouth is zippered shut when it comes to any advice from Doug Kobe from here on in.
Getting set for the restart. There'll be 7 laps in as they cross the start-finish line here. Doug Kobe is a race leader. He's on the outside lane to the bottom. 2-time winner this season, Austin Beers, as they roll through the restart zone and come down the main straightaway, turning them loose one more time as a green flag comes out, and Doug Kobe with a strong and fast launch in the outside lane.
Just the kind of start he wanted to get as he races off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. And now Anthony Cecily up on the outside. He'll go to second into turn 3.
Cecily hasn't raced at this track since 2008. He qualified in the 4th position, quickly moves into second. Pay attention to that, save that in memory bank for later in the race. That 4th position is a good spot to restart here, with the outside lane being the favorite restart spot. And that allowed him to move into second.
Guy who would like to get back to victory lane. He is one that hasn't for a while, but runs good here at Thompson. Talking about Bobby Santos in that Tinio number 44. Santos runs 3rd down into turn 1.
They had to rebuild this race car after the last time they ran at the Hampshire Motor Speedway. Contact between he and Corey LaJoie badly damaged the right side of the 44 of Santos. This might as well be a brand new car for him. He rides in 4th, but right behind him is Eric Goodale, who won the last time the series ran here at the World Series last October.
Goodale's got the current point leader and multi-time winner Ron Silk right on the back bumper. Silk won an open modified race here less than a month ago at Thompson. Everybody surmised that he came and ran with those guys and actually kind of cleaned their clocks as almost a test run for tonight's race. Well, he won that outlaw open modified race here at Thompson, so obviously came out of here with a bunch of notes. Right now he is right there in that group of cars, all running toward 4th and 5th spot.
Silk has always been known for being very good on long-run racetracks that carry a lot of speed, and this is one of them. For a while, he was the driver that owned this racetrack. Then after that, it went to Bonsignor, then Kobe in the middle of all that. And he has been pretty strong, but Goodale directly in front. Those are a couple of drivers that really know how to get the job done. Everybody in the frame right there have all won here at this racetrack.
Things have kind of settled down, at least for the moment, as we see Santos and Goodale duking it out through the 1st and 2nd turn. That settles down as they head down the backstretch.
You see Goodale lose the nose through the center of the turn. He was able to feather out of the throttle just enough to stay off of Santos, but that allows Ron Silk to close in and begin to pressure.
leaders have opened up a little bit of a gap over these guys, over Santos running in fourth. Top three now, you'll find them about 6 or 7 car lengths ahead of this battle between Santos and Eric Goodale.
That's the battle for fourth. Santos in the 44, Eric Goodale in the number 58 machine, and then the 16 of Ron Silk. The race that Eric Goodale won last year was all about conservation. Talked about it when Matt Swanson was down on pit road. Eric Goodale spun in that race very early, and he had to conserve his gear and equipment and his tires to the very end, and he was the one that was able to conserve the best to win here last year. But right now he's being aggressive because you look back through the notes, the history of this race, the drivers who run up front, dominate, and lead a lot of laps tend to be there all day. It's not a track that you'll see somebody lead a couple of laps and steal one at the end. And that's why these drivers will push hard early to control the pace and be out front.
Santos is another one of those guys that would normally be conserving, but he is running pretty hard right now. In fact, holding off Eric Goodale. Normally you might see him wait it out and save those tires for a while, but just as you described, Joe, they want to get up there and run up front.
Laps are quick here, 19-second laps. You're carrying a lot of speed, 26 degrees of banking here in the turns at Thompson. And these high banks, you can carry so much momentum, it does not take long to burn off some laps. And so you've got to make sure you've got track position when that pit stop comes at some point, assuming there'll be a caution midway towards 75 laps or later in this event.
A little bit of breathing room for Doug Kobe right now as we watch the battle between Anthony Cecily and Austin Beers. Beers testing him, taking a peek on the inside, but just can't get it done coming out of the turn.
Beers does not have a lot of experience here. He hasn't run here in open modifieds or other events like many of these drivers. I mean, Doug Kobe grew up racing at the Little T quarter midget track, which is just off turns 3 and 4 here, and has raced in a lot of different disciplines here at this track. For Austin Beers, he's got 2 Whelen modified tour starts, both finishes outside the top 10. So to say that it was a bit of a surprise for him to win the pole, I mean, with his success this year might be a bit of a stretch, but I don't know if he was the favorite to win the pole earlier today, and I don't know if he's a favorite to win the race, but right now he's third, showing that he's got another strong race car no matter what type of track we go to.
Well, I've always said that, confidence is like gaining a couple of horsepower, and he certainly comes into this race with a lot of confidence after the performance that he put on at the last race at Lancaster, and continues to carry that momentum into this race as he's into a pretty good battle for second right now.
He looks down to the inside on the front straightaway underneath Anthony Cecily, but tucks back in line by the time they hit turn 1. Did not have the room to make it work, and being patient enough to know it's still early. Behind them, though, Eric Goodale continuing to see if he can find room underneath Bobby Santos, and he will follow in the tire track through turns 3 and 4.
You talk about the conservation that these guys like to run, and the minute you get down to the inside and battle down there for a couple of laps in a row, you start using those tires up. So you want to test them, but you want to make the pass as quick as you can.
Beers able to get by Anthony Cecily to move into second. Now Cecily falls back into the clutches of the battle between Bobby Santos and Eric Goodale. Lap traffic up ahead. They'll have to go to the outside lane around Melissa Fifield. That'll calm this battle for a moment as Goodale had a run to the bottom but ran out of racetrack.
And here's Santos with a move down on the inside of Cecily, trying to take over that third spot, and he does.
Boy, after Austin Beers got by Anthony Cecily, Cecily begins to backpedal here a little bit, losing another spot to Santos. Here comes Eric Goodale, and now here comes Ron Silk trying to fill the gap. You can get freight trained here pretty easily if you're not careful, and right now everybody's trying to run the bottom to get underneath Anthony Cecily.
Yeah, while that door's open, they'll take advantage of it. Goodale sets himself up on the inside, and Silk right there on the back bumper wants to follow on through.
Here's Goodale digging to the bottom, dead even across off turn number 2. Directly behind them is Silk and Craig Lutz, who's got 2 victories in the last 3 events here at Thompson. And now Lutz pulls to the inside in this battle, trying to get underneath Ronnie Silk, but Silk protects the spot.
That is tight, particularly here in the early going, 28 laps complete of the Thompson 150. And again, they continue to work over Anthony Cecily.
So here comes Craig Lutz underneath. Now, everybody has a race in the schedule that they circle, and Craig Lutz and his team, they have had a tough season. They have not had the speed and the success that they hoped for, and that 82, and Craig knew coming into this race, this was one that they had circled, one that they had to be fast at, and had a good opportunity of running well here. Craig says, I just like the high banks here. I like this racetrack, and success will certainly favor you from a driver when you go to a racetrack when you know you've got 2 victories in your hip pocket, but that 82 car certainly needs a good run tonight after the tough season they've had so far.
Well, you can tell his love for the Speedway really came on strong when he won 2 in a row back just a couple of years ago here at Thompson.
Back up front, that battle continues between Bobby Santos and Eric Goodale, but this time it's for the 3rd spot to the bottom of turn 3. Here comes Eric Goodale. Can he clear Santos up off the turn? And he does. That bottom shot into turn 3 is a move that you'll see teams make as the race goes on, and Eric Goodale easily made that to move to the 3rd.
Goes to 3rd and going to try and track down our 2nd place runner, Austin Beers. Beers is about 6 car lengths ahead of him, and then another 6 to our leader, Doug Covey.
One driver that's not moving very far forward is Justin Bonsignor in that 51. He's back in the 9th position, lost a spot to Eric Burt in the 1 car. A last-minute add, the Ferguson Motorsports team teamed up with Robbie Fuller. Eric Burt has raced on the Whelen Modified Tour many, many times before, but he hasn't raced since 2013 in this series. He's been very busy with family and running some open shows here at this racetrack and others to keep him still very active in modified competition, but good to have him back on the tour. One of the veterans who was always really good at long distance races and conservation, which is what he was always known for. The Bulldog, Eric Byrne, in the 1 car.
And he's doing pretty well. Started in the 16th spot here when the green flag flew, so he's picked up a number of spots as we watch the battle. Craig Lutz and Anthony Cecily going at it.
This is a battle for 6th. Craig Lutz in the 82 from Miller Place, New York. Out of New Jersey is where Anthony Cecily is in that number 19 car. They'll go wheel to wheel back down the main straightaway into turn number 1. Lutz digging on the inside.
Trying to make that work. If you can just clear him and get back up into the preferred groove. And it appears that he has with this move out of turn 4.
Good solid effort for Craig Lutz. Quickly closing in is Eric Byrne. Byrne to the back bumper of Anthony Cecily. So Cecily, who had a good car for the first 20 laps or so, but now getting into 37 laps, 38 when Doug Covey crosses the line. Cecily's car continuing to backpedal as Byrne putting pressure onto the inside off 4.
Yeah, once Craig Lutz got around him, he picked up a couple of car lengths. Cecily, as you said, has to deal with Byrne as Byrne looks to the high side down the backstretch.
Outside lane for Byrne. This will be a good flavor of how strong his car is. We talked about it when we rolled off in the open today. Drivers like this track because you can go bottom, you can go top, you can work different lanes based on what your car is doing throughout a run. Eric Byrne proved that right there, driving to the outside in turn 3 and completing the pass to move up another position. Yeah,
that puts Byrne up into the 7th spot. Shuffles Cecily back to 8th.
Up front, though, 40 laps into the Thompson 150 presented by Flow Sports. Doug Covey leads the way, while here comes Austin Beers. He's got a beer full of Eric Goodale.
Yeah, Goodale has been strong since the drop of the green flag, and now he's going to test our pole sitter, as Beers have been turning in some pretty quick laps, but Goodale is right there, knocking on the door as they head out of turn 2.
Both of these drivers have closed in on the race leader, Doug Covey. Little by little, they've knocked some distance off. Covey had about a 10 to 15 car length advantage not too long ago, and you can see it is far less than that, 7-8 car lengths at most between Doug Covey and 2nd place Austin Beers and Eric Goodale.
Yeah, on the clock, he remains a half a second out in front of Beers. But at the pace that they're keeping, going to close that up. Here's Cecily now under attack from Andrew Kraus. Kraus in the 24, working the inside of the 19.
It's a battle for the 9th position as Andrew Kraus works underneath. Kraus has always had pretty good races here. He runs, his family operates the Wall Stadium in New Jersey, and that prevents him from running more races on the tour. But this midweek Wednesday night show allows Andrew to bring his modified out and see if he can put together another strong run here. He's got a pole here at this racetrack, has led laps, and has regularly finished inside the top 10.
Right behind him, trying to make the pass on Cecily, and sizing him up right now is Jake Johnson in the number 3. Johnson just finished a race before this one as he ran in the late model division here at Thompson. So he's got a lot of seat time here tonight. It looks like it's paying off.
His first start here at this racetrack in the Whelen Modified Tour, but this track tends to favor those with a lot of experience at it. And Jake Johnson, whether it be in fenders or open wheels, using that to his advantage here tonight to pick up spots.
Yeah, he dispatched of Anthony Cecily and starts to drive away. That's put Jake Johnson into the top 10.
So Anthony Cecily struggling back up front. You see the gap between Doug Kobe, Austin Beers, and Eric Goodale has tightened up some more, and Eric Goodale continues to put the pressure on Austin Beers, and he is closing in off turn number 2, looks to the bottom of the back straightaway.
Yeah, that has kept Beers up on the wheel because he knows Eric Goodale is right there looking to make the pass. He tests him now down on the inside. It's a drag race across the stripe.
Dead even across as they dive off into turn number 1. Goodale to the bottom, sweeps up in front of Austin Beers and moves into second. Now we'll see if he can track down Doug Kobe, who has led a majority of the race so far, all the laps except one.
Yeah, Goodale can run the racetrack that he wants to run right now as he's been able to get around Beers. Beers now feeling the heat from Bobby Santos, who's right behind him.
Santos continuing to have a strong run, while Ron Silk back there in the 16 car quietly riding in 5th.
Trouble on the backstretch as a car spins off the middle of the backstretch and ends up against the retaining wall. You see a little bit of a flame coming from that car as they try to restart it. But one car incident spins off the racetrack.
I believe it's a 21 car of Anthony Bello, who has gone around on the back straightaway. That brings us under the caution for the second flag tonight. Trouble for Anthony Bello, 49 laps in. Doug Kobe shows the way at Thompson.
So interesting, now 50 laps into the Thompson 150. We'll see if anybody's looking for some adjustments that they may want to make on pit road once pit road is opened, and that is signaled by the flashing red light, which is just before the entrance to pit road. Once that red light is extinguished, they'll know that pit road is open, and anybody that wants to get in there and make an adjustment or feels they want to have service here 51 laps in will take advantage of it as we're under our second caution of the Thompson 150.
Anthony Bello went through a long slide on the backstretch grass. There is a concrete barrier on the inside lane of the racetrack that leads to an embankment there, and it looks like he caught the right rear of that machine. He tried to get it rolling again but could not, and he is stuck. He'll need a tow to come on back. Out front though, it's Doug Kobe who's leading the way, and 51 laps in now. This is an interesting point in the race because it's usually a little bit early for caution and for tires, but that doesn't rule somebody from coming in and taking that strategy. Now, remember, this is a brand new tire for these teams. Some teams may be really calling for an adjustment, so the question is this the opportunity to pit now, or do you gamble that you get another caution a little bit later on in the race and pit a little closer to lap 75, lap 100?
Well, there's a handful of cars that have decided to do so, like Tyler Ripkema on pit road, as is Matt Hirschman, 46 of Nocella, back on pit road. Woody Pitcat's down there in the Mertz number 6. Max Zackham in the 26 also in for service.
There's Matt Hirschman, the Elite Towing Baker number 60 machine. He started deep in the field here today and has not been a factor so far after starting in the 18th position. Has not run here very often, has Matt Hirschman, but you can see them making a significant chassis adjustment there in the right rear before they send Matt back out on course. And he will rejoin as the second car off of pit lane. Max Zackham in the 26 won the race off of pit road, and Matt Hirschman will rejoin behind him. You look down on the racetrack, many of the leaders stayed out. Doug Kobe, Eric Goodale, Austin Beers, Bobby Santos, and Ron Silk, they all stayed out. You go pretty deep in the field. Tyler Ripkema, one of the first cars to come down pit lane, back from the 14th position on back, were the cars that decided to come and get service here under this caution. The second of the day on lap 52.
Well, we certainly know that that pit stop for Hirschman was for handling by the number of turns they took on the wrench there on the right rear. So obviously calling for some big adjustments on that number 60 for Matt Hirschman. So he gets mired back a few spots while they did that work on pit road. We'll see if that makes any difference for him.
And he's been on and off pit road a couple of times today because he was involved in that caution just 2 laps into the race, making contact with Matt Swanson down in turns 1 and 2. Field is doubled up, getting ready to go back under the green flag. Doug Coby is the race leader. He's been out front a majority of this event here today in the 7 New York. Inside lane, Eric Goodale, winner at the World Series last fall, starting to the bottom, will challenge him. He had one of the quickest cars in the racetrack before the caution flag came out. Pole sitter Austin Beers will restart third, and Bobby Santos on the outside of row 2. One of the best starting spots here, if you're not in the front row, is 4th here at Thompson because that outside lane moves on the restarts. Pace car is in. Doug Coby left in command of this Whelen Modified Tour field as we get ready to go back under the green flag. Coby powers away on the start. Eric Goodale tries to stick the nose underneath, but he cannot do it. He'll fall in line to second, so Goodale to second. Santos now to battle with Austin Beers for third.
Santos with a great run out of turn 2, but Beers hangs tough down on the inside in that number 64. They're duking it out, and Santos is able to clear him and get into a solid third place. Meanwhile, Eric Byrne continues his march to the front in that number 1. He works the outside of Beers and goes to the 4th spot.
Eric Byrne powering in the outside lane, brings Justin Bonsignore right along with him, but Austin Beers gives Justin Bonsignore a little elbow up the racetrack, and Bonsignore has to go back to the bottom. Now inside lane of turn number 1, Beers will give him room. He knew it was coming back at him, and he will move into the 5th spot.
Yeah, he was not going to try that another time as he left plenty of room for Justin Bonsignore to make that pass. Meanwhile, look at the move by Eric Byrne, who has some great momentum going in that number 1. He's working the back of Bobby Santos, trying to wrestle that 3rd spot away.
He has that car rolling tonight. Ferguson Motorsports, LFR, and the entire Troyer group there, Rob Fuller, and the entire group in that one car put a fantastic piece so far in the first half of this race underneath Eric Byrne. So impressive is the skill set that Eric Byrne has. Certainly no rookie in modified racing, knows his racetracks well, but anytime you're out of a series for 10 years, that has to have some impact on you. But Eric Byrne, so far tonight, he has shown that that has not bothered him at all. He has been able to shake any rust, if there was any at all, off of this number 1 car and having a great run here this evening.
Yeah, no intimidation at all about being on the tour. As you mentioned, he's got a lot of laps here at Thompson in modifieds, and he's just going back to that experience and getting it done tonight.
Up front, Eric Goodale challenging the race leader, Doug Coby. And now Byrne looks underneath Santos in turn 1. Can't make that work. Great action here among the top 4. You've got Coby the leader with Goodale there. You've got Byrne and Santos battling behind them as Byrne will continue the inside lane. Bottom lane of the racetrack, but can he make it stick?
Yeah, trying to hang tough. He'll do it again. This time he really drives in deep into turn 3, and he's able to make the pass and pull up in front of Santos.
That slide job move is key here at Thompson to carry that momentum in. The battle for the lead is on, though. Eric Goodale has drawn alongside Doug Coby, but Coby with momentum at the outside holds on. Here comes Byrne down to the inside lane.
Yeah, talk about momentum. He just again drove it in about as hard as he could, makes the pass and pulls up in front of Goodale for second.
Impressive run tonight for Eric Byrne. Runs high in turn 1. Look at the momentum as he carries down the hill to banking. Closes the gap on Doug Coby, now down to 1 car length.
Like a dream, he would love to lead a lap here, and he just got to get around Doug Coby to do it. He is right there on the back bumper of the number 7.
He'll challenge to the inside of turn 1. Slides up the racetrack in front of Coby. Eric Byrne to the applause of the crowd here at Thompson. Leads away on the back straightaway, 65 laps in. Contact now as Eric Goodale gets into the back of Doug Kobe.
That could have been really bad as Goodale got out of it. Don't know that it caused any damage as he stays in the throttle, but it upset the momentum of Bobby Santos. Santos got shuffled back so as to not run into the back of Goodale.
The two came together into turn number 3, and that tight battle among the top 4 now has a little bit of separation between all of them. Eric Berndt, the race leader, then it's Doug Kobe, Eric Goodale, and now Justin Bonsignore, as high as he has been all day, up to the 4th spot with Santos running 5th.
Yeah, seems like it was just a few laps ago that we were pointing out that Justin Bonsignore was outside of the top 10, but since that caution, he's been on a tear. That 51 is up to the 4th spot.
Little by little, long run speed starting to play a factor for Justin Bonsignore. Now Goodale trying again to get underneath Doug Kobe. This time he's got room underneath into turn 3. And caution right in front of the race leader, Max Zackham, goes around off turn number 4. That will bring out the 3rd caution of the night. 68 laps into the Thompson 150, presented by FlowSports.com. Eric Berndt is the race leader.
Zackham did his best to try and stay on the lead lap and cross the line before the leader did. Have to check the scoring on that to see if he did, but this, as you said, all played out just in front of. Yeah, and he'll have to give that back, I guess, as he's stopping right here at the start-finish line. So they'll get him racked up here for the restart with 69 laps complete.
Yeah, they're just going to move Max Zackham, rather, just ahead of the start-finish line. He was sitting on the scoring loop that goes across the racetrack, and so they wanted to just move him far enough ahead to clear the timing system and then allow him to rejoin here and the opportunity to get back in line with the field. So Eric Berndt leading the way here in Thompson. Doug Kobe, Eric Goodale, who still has not found a way around Doug Kobe. But boy, that contact we saw not that long ago did not seem to alter the setup and the speed that we saw out of Eric Goodale so far in that 58.
I'm surprised because he really did drive in there and make some heavy contact, particularly with the tire. And I thought that might have upset the toe maybe in the front or done some damage to the tire, but obviously not so, as we've got a lot of the leaders headed to pit road.
Pit road is open, and here they come down the pit lane. Eric Berndt will lead them down in the 170 York for Doug Kobe, Eric Goodale, Justin Bonsignore, and Bobby Santos. All the top 5 making their way down pit lane. You see Goodale, one of the first cars to get to his pit stall, but the leaders, Kobe and Berndt, pitted on the turn 1 end of pit road. They will go to work on each of their modifieds and see if they can put 3 brand new Hoosier tires on them.
Yeah, pit road is crowded as we're approaching the halfway mark of the Thompson 150, 71 complete, and a whole lot of work going on down on pit road as the crews work as quick as they can. Let's see who gets out of there first, as Bonsignore is down and away, and it looks like he will be the first off of pit road of all the cars that made the stop. Battle right out of the pits between the 64, the 58, and the 7, and it looks like Goodale is going to get off of pit road next in the 2nd spot, then Kobe, followed by Austin Beers.
So picking up 4 spots on pit lane was Justin Bonsignore. They were able to pick up a handful of spots to now jump out into the number 1 spot. Justin Bonsignore wins the race off of pit road. Very quick stop for him. Not a very quick stop, though, for Eric Berndt in that one car. Long and a slow pit stop. So he goes from the race lead now to the tail end of the lead lap. So a tough break for Eric Berndt and that team.
Certainly not by design, because I don't know that they made any other changes different than what the other competitors made on pit road, but obviously something went amiss while they were on that stop, and that is a tough situation. Though if he can have the same kind of speed that he did in the first half of this race, this will be interesting to see. Another car, looks like we've got coming back down onto pit road, the 44.
Yeah, Bobby Santos coming down pit road again here, second time around. He'll also come down with Woody Pitkat. So Santos, who was running inside the top 5, will make his way down pit road. So something amiss on the 44 car of Santos. And they're going to come around here and grab tires on his race car along the right side.
Interesting. From a top 5 position, he too will be mired at the back of the restart.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Remember, both Eric Berndt at least started deep in the field and was able to race his way forward. Bobby Santos started a little bit further forward in today's race. You look at where Santos started. He started in 8th. Eric Berndt started in 16th, and both were toward the front of the field as we went going again. Now, Anthony Cecily is shown as the race leader in car number 19. They did not come down pit road, and he will restart on the bottom. So his tires quite a bit older than everybody else in the field. The 51 car of Justin Bonsignore, that team for many years has prided themselves in having one of the fastest pit crews on pit road, and most of the races that he has won here at this racetrack have become that track position gain by the pit crew under this pit stop. So they did it again here with a 51 to get him out in front on the front row. He'll start to the outside lane when we get back under the green flag here. It'll be halfway through, 75 laps on the scoreboard here tonight at Thompson when we turn him loose here under the green flag. Green flag is out, and Anthony Cecily able to keep pace with Justin Bonsignore as they dive off into the 26-degree banking of turns 1 and 2. The outside momentum, though, favors Justin Bonsignore and Doug Coby as they move back out in front.
A classic battle between these two. It's played out so many times here in Thompson. Bonsignore and Coby running 1-2, and now Ron Silk moves to the outside of Anthony Cecily. He'll go to the 3rd spot.
Among the drivers running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, they've got 23 victories here at this racetrack. No surprise to see them leading the way. You go back in the 4th position. Patrick Emmerling inside the top 5 for the first time today, and Austin Beers has now slid back to 5th.
A very frustrated Eric Goodale hung up behind Cecily down on the inside while the rest of the field has freight trained on the outside. Finally, Goodale's able to get around him on the outside, but not after being drop kicked back several spots.
We'll see how quick Eric Goodale can be when we get back going. He was 2nd off of pit lane under that pit stop, and now he's got his work cut out for him. Deeper in the field, Matt Hirschman, he's still battling along with Anthony Cecily, 3 wide off the corner for a moment. First time we saw a bit of Tyler Ripkema trying to gain spots here on this restart. Here's Goodale, quick work underneath the Kyle Bonsignore number 22. One thing about Eric Goodale in that 58, he's got a car that cuts through the center of the turn. It seems like better than anybody. He dives to the inside of Kyle Bonsignore in turn 3, looking to complete the pass, but just draws alongside and cannot do it on the front straightaway.
Yeah, losing more time as the leaders start to check out. Bonsignore and Coby up in front, watching the battle with Patrick Emmerling and Austin Beers, as Beers has taken a peek on the inside on a couple of laps, but not making the move.
This is the battle for the 6th place. Eric Goodale and Kyle Bonsignore. Matt Hirschman having one of his better runs of his career here at this racetrack in the 60 car. Quick work of his pit crew gained him some spots to now be into the 8th spot with pressure from behind in the form of Andrew Krause.
Yeah, Krause has picked it up since that round of pit stops right there on the back bumper as we take a look at the leaders, and you see that it's Bonsignore being chased by Coby down the backstretch.
These are the 3 that we've kept our eye on all season long. Beers in the middle of that mix as well, but the 3 on the screen have all won championships in the series. Multiple wins here at this racetrack, and we knew that if it shook out this way, where these 3 were at the front, it would be a duel to the finish to see who would win here at Thompson, and we are only a handful of laps, 83 into this one. Still a better half of this race to go as we approach the finish. Now, how about Eric Berndt? Remember, he lost all that track position down on pit road. He's been able to rally just outside the top 10. He runs 11th right now in the 1 car.
And trying to go for more, getting up on the back bumper of Craig Lutz. Lutz right behind Kraus, and they are all working over the 60 of Matt Hirschman. There's Byrne in the number 1.
Boy, you don't see Eric Byrne drive it in so deep that he's using the chrome horn. That's not his style. He's a very clean race car driver. But he knows he's got a good race car, and you know by that move there into turn 3 that he is giving it everything he has to capitalize on it and drive it to the front.
Yeah, obviously disappointed with the way it came back. Caution as we've got a car around up in turn number 4. It looks like Woody Pitkat in the number 6 has gone around and brought out another caution flag here on lap 86.
It's the 5th caution of the day. Lap 86, Woody Pitkat brings out the caution as Justin Bonsignor continues to show the way here in Thompson at the Thompson 150. Woody Pitkat able to keep that car rolling. He's got it on the back straightaway. Justin Bonsignor out in front of this one. And, you know, last week when we ran at Lancaster, a couple of weeks ago at Lancaster, Justin Bonsignor said, I need to be fast on the short runs. I need to be able to take advantage of the race and control the race early. Earlier today, he said, yeah, I think that was the wrong strategy. We need to be good on the long runs, and you saw that today. Early on, they were slowly picking up spots to move inside the top 5 in time for the pit stop. He started 6th. He pitted out of the 4th spot, and then they took advantage of quick work on pit road to gain the lead. And now that they're out in front, they've got the opportunity to control the pace and do that long run speed, which was exactly the strategy that Justin Bonsignor and his crew chief Ryan Stone had planned for coming into this race.
Yeah, he can run the race that he wants to run, use the part of the racetrack where he's the most comfortable. And now that he's out in front, he's been able to hold off Kobe. We'll see if that changes when we get to the restart. Now on pit road, Woody Pitkat, the cause of the caution, is back on pit road, and Anthony Cecily has come in for his first service. We saw how not making the stop under the last caution hurt him on the restart, the way he was shuffled back so quickly. So while we are under caution and pit road is open, there's a few cars that take advantage of that. We see the service going on the right side of Cecily's number 19.
Making a big chassis adjustment in that machine. Interesting call to leave them out on the racetrack, possibly trying to get off sequence on tires. They have better tires at the end of the race, and sometimes you'll see that here at this racetrack, but I'm not sure if the distance between lap 69 when they all came down pit road here and lap 89 is going to be enough to have those tires really pay off for Anthony Cecily in the final 61 laps of tonight's event.
And the timing may be off at this point, but we'll see once the green flag drops. He will rejoin the rear of the field as they already have them doubled up for the restart, and the lights off on the Thompson Speedway pace car, ready to set them loose on lap 90.
There'll be 60 laps to go when Justin Bonsignor brings the field around to the green flag on this restart with Doug Kobe to the inside. Off turn 4 and into the restart zone. Green flag is out, and Justin Bonsignor fires and easily clears Doug Kobe into turn 1.
Yeah, no problem there on the restart, as now Ronnie Silk has his hands full of Eric Beers.
Trouble on the back straightaway. Multiple cars involved. Andrew Kraus, Kyle Bonsignor, Matt Hirschman is involved. A piece of it was also Eric Goodale. 5-6 cars involved. The 3 car of Jake Johnson. Max Zackham is in it. Eric Byrne caught a piece of that as well, as did the 36 car of Dave Zapienza. There is the damage on the 1 car of Eric Byrne. He's trying to get it to pit road, but you can see that left front and right front steering just not cooperating for Byrne. And what a good race car he had today, and he is not going to be able to drive that car back to pit road.
That is a real disappointment for him and the team. Actually led this race a while back, then got hung up on pit road, and now involved in this trouble. And unfortunately, will have to go on the hook and not make it back, as the red flag is now displayed. With so much going on the backstretch, they're going to stop the traffic from going around there.
It all started on the back straightaway at the exit of turn number 2. The field has paused. Justin Bonsignor, the race leader with Doug Kobe there. The red flag has been displayed here, 91 laps in to tonight's race for a multi-car incident on the back straightaway. It started in turn 2 and collected several cars. We'll get a look at it here. Keep an eye on the 58 of Eric Goodale directly ahead. It stacks up the field between he and Andrew Kraus. Kraus then gets hit by Lutz, who turns him sideways, and the 22 of Kyle Bonsignor goes airborne. Both rear tires in the air for a good 100 feet or so before crashing down and landing on all four. Kraus went spinning to the infield, and everybody stacked up behind them trying to avoid contact. And there was quite a few cars that were not successful in doing that. Dave Zapienza, the 36, caught quite a bit of damage as well. Matt Hirschman in the 60 car avoiding down to the inside with plenty of damage. But I think the heartbreak of them all was this number 1 car and Rob Fuller's prepared car. The Ferguson Motorsports entry put together here for Eric Berndt led the race, had trouble on pit road, and that trouble, Pete, landed him deep in the pack right in the middle of that hornet's nest.
That's a tough one. We see the hook going on Matt Hirschman's number 60. When they've dispatched every tow truck in the place out to the scene of the mishap, you know, there's a lot of wrecked cars that are not going to be able to make the restart, and that is the case. One of the reasons we're under red flag, because there's so much cleanup to go on.
There's Jake Johnson, another one of the cars that was involved. You can see the Nerf bar on the left side pushed up against that number 3 car. That is a bar that is used without fenders on these modifieds. They have the Nerf bars that protect the rear tires and the side of these race cars from allowing those wheels to hook in the way that you saw Kyle Bonsignor's right rear catch the left front of Andrew Kraus. One of the reasons why those cars jump like that is because the wheels are going different speeds and they're different sizes. And so when you've got a car with a right rear that's under acceleration, hits a tire that's sideways and spinning and locked up, they're doing 2 different motions, and physics just sends that thing skyward, and that's what happened with Kyle Bonsignor. You see the dirt that's packed into that left rear wheel when it came down onto the racing surface. But boy, that landed pretty hard. Look at that, taking half the back straightaway with him for Kyle Bonsignor.
Yeah, this is going to wipe out a lot of cars for sure, as we saw a couple of cars be able to keep going but limp by here before the red flag came out. They are going to be anxious to get on pit road. One of them is Woody Pitcat in the number 6, who went by here with a flat tire. He now sits under the red flag over in the turn 2 area, and he'll be looking to get onto pit road once the pits open up, and that'll be once the red flag is lifted and the cleanup is done over on the backstretch.
Get a look at the 60 car tonight, driven by Matt Hirschman here this evening. He has had a tough string of luck here at this racetrack, and his car now lifted by the wrecker here in the front. Our safety services crew here at Thompson Speedway, tending to the drivers involved in the incident here this evening, as they're just about ready to pull Matt Hirschman's 60 car away from the back straightaway. Crews came over and took a look at all the damage that ensued along the back straightaway with multiple cars involved. Again, 91 laps in to tonight's event, and these 4 drivers on the back straightaway that run 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are the 4 that are in the middle of a very tight championship battle, led by the 16 of Ronnie Silken. All of them were able to evade this incident. Eric Berndt's car, the one machine, getting pulled back behind pit wall. Tough break for him and that entire group. Back here at Thompson Speedway, it's a Thompson 150 presented by FlowSports.com. We're under the red flag for a multi-car incident along the back straightaway here at Thompson. It was our 6th caution of the evening, and NASCAR threw the red flag to allow time for the crews to clean up along the back straightaway. The race leader is Justin Bonsignor, as Doug Coby, Ron Silk, Austin Beers, all the championship contenders inside the top 4 as they sit paused just off turn number 2 on the high banks of Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. Pete, this one has certainly been eventful. We've seen quite a few different opportunities for strategy calls, but Justin Bonsignor, Ryan Stone, and that team, they made the best call, went from 4th to 1st on pit road under a caution a few laps ago, and were able to get the race lead with quick work on pit road.
We weren't sure that we would be calling his name being out front in the early stages of this race when we saw him mired back outside the top 10, but that pit stop, which got him out early in front of everybody else that went onto pit road, certainly rocketed him to the front, and he'll be tough to beat here as the race winds on. And a number of other drivers, of course, now that we're mired towards the back, see this as an opportunity, as the lengthy red flag has caused a number of cars to have to be towed right off the speedway so they can gain positions with losing some of the field like that. Of course, things can change. You've been under a long red flag like here, this situation right now. The cooling of the tires, the cooling of the racetrack, the cooling of the drivers. They got to get themselves all psyched up again to go at it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been a very challenging race, and this is going to add a whole nother twist to it as well. Let's take a look at one of the cars that was involved in the incident, and that's the 36 car of Dave Zapienza. His car is down on pit road. The crew is just about ready to begin work. They just need the red flag to be lifted and the yellow flag to be displayed, and they continue their work down on pit road. So they've got everything staged, and when the opportunity arises, they'll go ahead and begin their work on pit road.
Still have a couple of cars that are stopped on the racetrack just beyond the accident scene.
Look at the grass.
We'll have to see whether they can get going again. What's that, Joe?
Notice the grass that's stuck on the hot tire of the Dave Zapienza number 36 machine. And they have now lifted the red flag. They can complete service on the 36 and send him back out onto the racetrack. So the field begins to roll here along the back straightaway at Thompson. Justin Bonsignor leading the way. A 12-time winner here at this racetrack, but it's been a couple of years, Pete. He won 7 of 8 races, almost swept the races here in 2018 and 2019. For the last 5 races here, they haven't been as fast, and they have just missed the setup. And they said, we have just struggled adapting to the racetrack. We've struggled adapting to the tire that they brought. We just missed the magic that we had. They tested here. They did a tire test, as NASCAR has teams and works with Hoosier to do tire tests at various racetracks. They did a tire test, the 51 of Justin Bonsignor, here last October, and they said that test really gained some insight for them at how they can get back on top of their game here at Thompson. And whatever they've got figured out now, quick work on pit road, do they have enough to keep that 51 out in front for the final 59 laps of today's race?
Well, he certainly would be under strong consideration to go to victory lane once again here at Thompson and add to his list. He's in some pretty good company, 3rd on the all-time win list behind Mike Stefanik and Ted Christopher. And as you said, 12 wins, Stefanik with 15 and Christopher with 13. Justin Bonsignor can certainly solidify his position in the history books by picking up a win here. Not to mention that he's in the hunt for the championship, yet another championship on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and a win here tonight. Certainly a few positions over Ron Silk would make a big difference in the point stand.
It's so tight, though. You look at it in a win tonight, maybe he takes the points lead, right? It's just that tight because Ron Silk is running inside the top 4, and we'll have to keep an eye on that goes. What's really impressive about Justin Bonsignore here, he's got those 12 victories, but he's done it in far fewer races than Ted Christopher and Mike Stefanik did. He's won in just under 30% of his starts here at this racetrack. That's an outstanding statistic for Justin Bonsignore to be able to have that type of success, winning 12 races in just some, I think it's 44 starts or somewhere around there.
42, actually.
Yeah, 42
Well, this
starts.
is his 42nd.
Yeah,
so,
just impressive record here at this racetrack. So, field reset. And Pete, you brought up a good point about how these cars sat a little while on the back straightaway. Not that they're going to have an opportunity to make some adjustments if you're inside the top 5, but you can start thinking about strategy. Gives you an opportunity to reset, and they will get the 1 to go this time by. Can you take that strategy, the thoughts that you put in on the back straightaway of how you can get a little bit better? Where else can you find speed in your race car? What other ideas can you put at it? The team's all strategized about that under the red flag. Now they get the opportunity to put that to the test.
Well, we'll find out a half a lap from now as they are doubled up for the restart behind the pace car. They get a little scrub in there to get what heat they can back in the tires. Not that it's a cold night here. It's a wonderful night here, Thompson, as the caution flag comes back out again because we've got a tow truck on pit road. Looks like they're going to have to connect to Andrew Krause, number 24, as he waited for the caution flag to come back out and then limped down pit road with sparks coming from the bottom of that car. He was involved in that skirmish on the backstretch, but obviously it's nothing they can repair on pit road. He's gotten out of the car, and therefore they will put the hook on it and take him behind the wall. So the caution flag came back out so that they could position the tow truck there. Now the caution flag is extinguished. Lights are off on the pace car, and will come around to complete 96 laps when they get the green flag.
Field rolling down the back straightaway. Justin Bonsignore, the race leader, alongside Doug Kobe. It'll be 54 laps to go when they see the green flag. The pace car peels off as they hit that banking in turns 3 and 4. Bonsignore to the outside lane has been outstanding on restarts here tonight, and he will guide the field back to green.
Gets a great launch out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch, and he'll take Ron Silk with him as Silk drives the outside of Kobe to go to second.
Austin Beers now in the 64, challenging for third to the outside of Kobe. Kobe getting freight trained on the bottom. Goodale now to the outside in turn 1.
Yeah, this is redemption for Goodale, who got hung up on the last restart behind Anthony Cecily. He's been able to gain some spots and certainly continues to do so here after the green flag.
Tyler Ripkema tried to go to the outside lane, but Doug Kobe slammed the door shut. He'll stay in 5th, but Ripkema had momentum. He'll draw to the inside lane, but Santos moves into challenge in the 44.
Yeah, Bobby Santos getting back up there, trying to race back into the top 5, and gets up around Ripkema and is up into the 6th spot.
Kobe backpedaling with pressure from behind. He'll look high in turn 1 on Goodale, but does not have a lane there and will follow in the tire tracks down the back straightaway.
100 laps when they cross the stripe this time. 50 laps to go in the Thompson 150.
Justin Bonsignore out in front, but the battle at the bottom half of the top 5 is where the action is. As Eric Goodale drives up to the back bumper of Austin Beers, looks in the rearview mirror, and Doug Kobe is here running a high entry into turn 3.
Kobe has kind of recovered after getting shot back there at the restart. Has come right back and is pestering the back bumper of Eric Goodale.
Interesting to see Kobe try to use the outside lane, trying to diamond the corner on exit, but enters high, using plenty of brake on that 70 York to get that car to turn, but just cannot carry the momentum to cut underneath Eric Goodale on the exit of the turn. There's Beers in 3rd, Eric Goodale in fourth, and Kobe, you can see the sparks flying off that right front brake rotor for the 70-year-old Kobe every time he gets into the turn. Those sparks coming off the brake rotor, you see it there nearly glowing red at this point, just only a handful of laps after that red flag.
Just an indication of how hard he is really going, and wants to stay within striking distance of Goodale as he watches the two leaders up in front of him start to pull away.
And that is Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. And those two cars, about a car length apart for the race lead. Kobe not able to gain ground on Eric Goodale, but here comes Ron Silk. A bit down to the inside of turn one. Sparks flying out of the 16 car as Silk draws to the bottom of Bonsignor, but Bonsignor fends off the challenge.
Cannot get it done as Bonsignor is able to keep the momentum up one groove through that first and second turn. Repeat performance through 3 and 4, and Bonsignor will lead another lap.
These two drivers have battled for win after win after win this season. Multiple times this year at the Riverhead Raceway, several tracks on the tour. Justin Bonsignor leading the way. Hard on the binders is Ron Silk as he lights up that right front brake rotor into turn 3.
Stays within striking distance. He tested Bonsignor a couple of laps ago and is content to ride behind him at this point. 107 laps complete. He sees an opportunity, he'll take it. Right now, he knows that right behind him is Austin Beers, and Beers could pounce if Silk gets shuffled out of the racing groove.
Now, Austin Beers is keeping both Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk pretty honest here in the late stages. And don't count out Eric Goodale. His car came to life on the longer run under that first green flag run before the pit stop. And his car continues to be quick as he closes in on the back of the 64 of Beers. Kobe has not been able to gain that lost ground as he rides in fifth, but Ron Silk, as a caution flag comes out. And we've got a car around in turn 2. This time it's Woody Pitcat involved for the second time tonight. And as he tries to get that car going again, he hits the grass and spins it one more time.
Gets back out there and is able to drive away. It looks like all the tires are up, so that's not the issue with him as he races around here trying to rejoin the rear of the field.
So the seventh caution of the night comes out for a spin by Woody Pitcat in turn 2. Justin Bonsignor leads the way with 40 laps to go. Bonsignor out in front. Ron Silk sitting there in second. And boy, these two have just been so fun to watch all season long. You've got a gentleman, Ken Massa, who has won 3 Whelen Modified Tour Championships and plucked Justin Bonsignor out of Riverhead Raceway. Justin was basically out of a ride, did not have an opportunity to move forward when Ken Massa got behind him and gave him an opportunity to race there and then at the Whelen Modified Tour. Ron Silk, a series champion as well in the 16 car, and there has not been a night when Ron Silk hasn't brought his A game, and he was all smiles earlier today, very relaxed, very talkative, and he said, you know what, this racetrack just always suits my style. I've always liked coming here, and for him, another racetrack where he's got a tremendous amount of experience here, a lot of laps at this racetrack to go with his 5 victories here at Thompson.
Well, we talked about the fact that he won a tour-type modified show here less than a month ago at Thompson. We all felt it was kind of a shakedown for this race when he came out here. And sure, that gives him a good boost of confidence coming into this weekend. So thus the relaxed atmosphere when he came to Thompson here this afternoon. And he's backing it up with the run that he's got going here tonight.
More service and work being done to the left rear of the 19 car for Anthony Cecily as he's now off the jack and exits pit lane. Anthony Nocella, Jake Johnson all coming in. Boy, Jake Johnson, Nerf bar damaged on the left side, rear bumper damaged on that 3 car. It is not been an easy night tonight for Jake Johnson. And he's back on track. Next Saturday night, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour will head to Langley Speedway in Virginia. About a week and a half for now. As the series rolls on, then it's off to Oswego in upstate New York on Labor Day weekend before making the trip back to Monadnock Speedway. Still Riverhead Raceway on the schedule left to go, and still another race here at Thompson Speedway, North Wilkesboro Speedway. Going to be a big favorite for modified racing as they have the opportunity to take the Whelen Modified Tour to there the last weekend in September and wrap things up down to the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the series championship. And the way this one is going here, this is going to go right down to the wire to see who will be the 2023 Whelen Modified Tour champion. It could be Justin Bonsignore, could be Ron Silk, here Austin Beers, and it very well could be Doug Covey, all still firmly in the hunt for the crown here this season. But we're really only just a little bit past halfway, Pete, as this season has had 18 races rather in the schedule. It's been a long season, and we just passed the halfway point.
Yeah, to think that you're halfway and it's already August, what the rest of the season is shaping up to be for these guys. Classic battles like we're seeing here tonight for the rest of the way for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour.
35 laps to go when the green flag flies between Justin Bonsignore and Ron Silk in the Thompson 150 presented by Flow Sports. The green flag flies, and Bonsignore again outstanding in the outside lane, is able to clear Ronnie Silk for the lead in turn one.
Yeah, this time Eric Goodale gets shoved up the racetrack in that battle with Austin Beers, and that allows Bobby Santos to draw alongside on the inside. That is the race for the fourth spot.
So Santos battling with Eric Goodale. Santos, he's been in the mix all day long, and he's challenging late. The two bouncing, weaving off the turn, nearly coming together midway down the back straightaway.
And Doug Copey's right there to give Goodale a little bit of a shove if he needs it to clear Santos, but Santos is able to get by on the bottom, gets into a solid fourth place.
Patrick Emmerling in the middle of that battle as well. Tyler Ripkema lost a couple of spots after a good run under that last green flag restart. His car backed up a little bit, and Woody Pitcat just trying to hang on to his race car. He's still managing a top 10 run even after being involved in two cautions here tonight.
As we saw after the last restart, the leaders start to put some breathing room between themselves and the third place run as we look further back in the pack. We look at the cause of the caution right there with Tyler Ripkema and Anthony Cecily, who was just on pit road for some service.
He's been making a lot of adjustments to that 19 car. We'll see if that allows him to pick up a few more spots in the closing laps here tonight. Boy, Ripkema well out of shape off turn number 2, able to gather it back, and here comes Cecily underneath for the pickup.
Got it all going on a little further back in the pack. That's just outside the top 10, or from 10th on back.
Here's the battle for the 7th spot as Craig Lutz in the 82 underneath Patrick Emmerling, able to get it done, but Emmerling tries a crossover move. This run tonight for Craig Lutz in that 82 is just what the doctor ordered. They have struggled this season. I don't think they're going to be happy with 7th tonight. I think they expect them to come in here, run top 5 and win, but certainly far better than the hard luck that 82 team has had all season long, and a step in the right direction for Craig Lutz in the 82. Up front, things starting to heat up. Justin Bonsignore looks in the mirror, and Ron Silk is there, only a car length behind, continuing to pressure the 51 of Justin Bonsignore. Less than 22 laps to go, 27 laps to go, correction here in this one tonight. Bonsignore and Silk battling for the win once again.
And here's a pretty good battle just behind them. Bobby Santos again being tested by Eric Goodale. Goodale in the 58 takes a peek underneath the 44. That again race for the 4th spot.
Mears has not been able to drive away from this battle as Santos, 44, Eric Goodale, 58, continue to battle. They've been together just about all night. Now Lutz starting to close in the 82 in the back bumper just behind on Doug Coby. There is the gap. The race leader, Justin Bonsignor, back to this 3rd, 4th, and 5th place battle as Goodale finally has to the bottom.
Goodale trying to make it stick, and does. Able to clear Bobby Santos and shuffles him back to the 5th spot.
Now Craig Lutz putting a wheel underneath Coby on the back straightaway. Lutz might have a top 5 before this race is over if he can find a little bit more speed to get by Coby and Santos. High entry into turn 1 for Lutz allows for the crossover move on exit. Coby outside, and here comes Lutz to the bottom in turn 3.
Lutz making a real charge as he goes in deep into turn 3, makes the pass and pulls up in front of Coby to take the spot away.
Craig Lutz now into 6th. Coby back to 7th. And that track position that he lost on that restart, Coby was never able to gather it back and charge back up to the front of the field. Led the first half until the caution that brought everybody down pit road. And from then on out, it's been Justin Bonsignor. There's Craig Lutz in the 82. Next car, the crosshairs, is the 44 of Santos. But up front, Justin Bonsignor will bring him around this time by and see 20 laps to go in Thompson.
Yeah, he's actually put a little bit of breathing room between himself and Silk. Where the Silk is setting him up to take a run at it in the final stages, or Silk just doesn't have enough to get up there and fight for it. We'll find out as they continue to clip the laps off. But if we can say that's the biggest lead that he's had, at least recently in this race, it'd be the case as he's opened it up to about 4 car lengths.
Justin Bonsignor, you watch, caution comes out. We've got a car stopped in turn 2, and that's a 36 of Dave Zapienza. As he's trying to get that car refired once again, that's what's causing the flames coming out from the header pipes on the 36 of Zapienza, but you can see where he made quite a bit of contact. That right front tire badly damaged as it is down on the 36 of Zapienza.
Yeah, he's not going to get it refired as the window net comes down, and the tow crew will go to work again and have to pick up the front of the 36. It's been a tough night for Dave Zapienza.
So Dave Zapienza, window net down, safety crew on hand. Will look to clear his car off the racetrack inside of 17 laps to go when the field comes around here under the caution flag. And right before the caution came out, I was going to mention about Justin Bonsignor. We've talked quite a bit about that right front brake rotor that Ronnie Silk and Bobby Santos and Doug Coby have been really glowing here in the night. You didn't see that out of the 51 of Justin Bonsignor. That car, easy in the corner, easy off the corner. He doesn't appear as though he's over driving that race car for Justin Bonsignor. And as the run went on, you saw him starting to gap Ronnie Silk. No matter how deep Ronnie Silk drove into the corner, he just couldn't seem to close in on Justin Bonsignor under that last green flag run.
And again, we don't know whether he was laying back, waiting to make a strategic move, waiting for the last handful of laps, but now we'll click off some laps under caution, so it'll be go time when they get back to the green flag.
Should Justin Bonsignor hold on to get the win here tonight, and that's a big if, because anything can happen in this competition here at Thompson this evening, but if he holds on, he will tie Ted Christopher on the all-time win list here at Thompson. Earlier this season, Justin Bonsignor made his 200th career start. He did it at his home track at the Riverhead Raceway, and he said, you know, I hope to be able to race as long as some of the veterans before me did, drivers like Ted Christopher, drivers like Mike Stefanik, and see what I can accomplish in the record books. But he said to be able to run 200 races was quite an accomplishment, and he hopes that there are many more to come. But if you look through what he has accomplished in such a short period of time, relatively speaking, in modified competition, multiple championships, multiple victories at many of the racetracks, has dominated very high on the all-time win list, inside the top 5 all-time of the Whelen Modified Tour. Bonsignor, still young, in his mid-30s, has a lot of career ahead of him, and he is knocking record books down one at a time.
He's a methodical driver. In other words, he is always in thought. If you run into him in the garage or preparing to go out for a race, deep in thought, and great communication with the crew and his crew chief. That's always important if you're going to win races.
And he's become a very successful businessman as well, away from the racetrack, and all ships rise for Justin Bonsignor, having another great night here tonight at Thompson. Can he finish it? There'll be just 14 laps to go when they see the green flag, if that is the final green flag. We've had quite a few cautions here this evening, 8 in fact so far, and that's the way it is here in the summer evening. A beautiful night in what was the quiet corner of Connecticut until the Whelen Modified Tour rolled into town to take on this Thompson Speedway here this evening. 14 circuits to go. Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk, the 2 championship point leaders, to lead them back to green.
Green flag is in the air, and Bonsignor gets the jump, and a great run down into turn number 1. Starts to pull away from Ron Silk on the backstretch.
The battle is now on for third as Austin Beers trying to hold off Eric Goodale to the outside, who had a great launch on that start. And Goodale will move into third and take over the spot, while fourth for Austin Beers. That top 5 run might just be a reality for Craig Lutz in the 82.
Yeah, maybe even going for more, as he was all over the back bumper of Beers last time around. And he's looking to gain some ground every lap. Bonsignor opens up what would have to be considered a comfortable lead at this point as he heads out of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Bonsignor on cruise control here in the late stages of this one. A healthy advantage, 5 car lengths back to second. Ronnie Silk, the rookies coming in. Eric Goodale beginning to close in on second. Ron Silk.
He was the last winner here at Thompson in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. I would love to get back to victory lane, but they're kicking off the laps. There'll be 10 to go when they come back across the stretch.
Well, it might be advantageous if Eric Goodale can find a way around Ron Silk to put himself in position. If we get another restart for him, that's probably what it's going to take. It's now inside 10 laps to go, and Justin Bonsignor continuing to open it up front. But the battle for fourth is pretty good as Craig Lutz continues to see if he can pick some spots here in the late going of this one. Across the line, 9 to go. Beers and Lutz battling for fourth.
Yeah, Lutz is right there, just a little reluctant maybe to stick the nose down underneath so as not to lose any ground, because behind him is Bobby Santos, who could pounce to pick up another spot.
So question mark coming in, would Beers be able to hang tough at a racetrack that he did not have a lot of success at in the past, where he has proven to be a top 5 runner here tonight from the pole position? Saw the front just briefly before the caution flag came out early on lap number 2. But Austin Beers, for this team, not a victory, but I think safe to say mission accomplished, considering the prior results that they had here at Thompson, and to keep pace with the other championship contenders.
Speaking of pace, Justin Bonsignor continues to set a torrid pace and continues to pick up over Ron Silk. He's now opened it up to 7 car lengths, even more on the backstretch. He continues to drive away as the top 5 are pretty well spread out.
Justin Bonsignor has that car on cruise control. You can see the gap now. It was 5 car lengths the last time we saw it. Now the better part of 10 car lengths back to Ron Silk. And Silk continuing to drive different grooves. See if he can find a little bit more out of that race car, but nothing left to catch Bonsignor so far.
Best race on the track right now is between Kobe and Patrick Emmerling, as they've been racing side by side for the last couple of laps. Kobe trying to pick up another spot. That is the race for 7th.
Turn 1, Kobe trying to keep every spot he can, but Emmerling rallies and goes around to the outside, so Kobe dominated the first half of the race, now in 8th. Justin Bonsignor will see 2 laps to go this time by as they hit the main straightaway with Ronnie Silk and a healthy advantage back to 2nd.
Yeah, that race between Emmerling and Kobe has quieted down for the time being as they continue to clip off the laps. White flag will go in the air this time. And Justin Bonsignor clear sailing. Healthy lead over Ronnie Silk.
It was a strategic run in the first half of the race to the pit stop. They gained the lead by quick work on pit road. And now Justin Bonsignor, the final time around, guides his number 51 car into turn 3. And for the 13th time in his career at Thompson Speedway, Justin Bonsignor wins on the Whelen Modified Tour. 38th career victory for Justin Bonsignor. His crew going wild as they have now tied Ted Christopher for 2nd on the all-time win list here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Bonsignor the winner, Ronnie Silk in 2nd. Eric Goodale able to rally back to finish 3rd here this evening. And Justin Bonsignor will chip away at the advantage that Ron Silk in the championship lead had coming in. Austin Beers will lose a little bit of ground, as does Doug Kobe, as the series will march on to Langley Speedway next Saturday night. Justin Bonsignor grabs a checkered flag here at Thompson. He'll do the Polish victory lap, victorious once again as he continues to rewrite history books here at this racetrack.
A couple of times that we wondered where the speed was for him early on as he was outside the top 10 in the first leg of this race. And then once those cautions started to happen, he methodically worked his way up to the front and was definitely dominant here at the end as he continues on his victory lap, about ready to come back in front of the fans here at Thompson and get ready for all the ceremonies in Victory Lane.
A capacity crowd here at Thompson here this evening. They were certainly in for an entertaining event as Justin Bonsignor leaves a checkered flag in turn 1 in honor of John Blewett III, who lost his life on this date in this race at this racetrack many years ago. He'll leave that flag in the honor of John Blewett III in turns 1 and 2, where the incident occurred, and now pulls along the front straightaway. Victorious tonight at Thompson Speedway in the Thompson 150, presented by FlowSports.com. "13 wins at one racetrack is quite the accomplishment for Bonsignor, Ryan Stone, and Ken Massa, the entire team. A lot of folks on hand here tonight from Phoenix Communications that were spending time with Justin and the entire team back in the garage area before the race, as Bonsignor had an opportunity to shake a lot of hands of the supporters. So this win and this team certainly means a lot to them. And he said earlier tonight, after shaking hands with some of those sponsors with him, he says, this is Thompson. Everybody comes out for Thompson. And certainly when you're a favorite coming in, they're going to come out in droves. And Justin Bonsignor played the game right tonight and captures another victory and continues another outstanding season here in the 2023 campaign.
Doesn't hurt him in the championship battle either, as he is chasing the guy who finished second to him, Ron Silk, who had only an 8-point lead over Justin Bonsignor coming into tonight's racing action. So that kind of tightens the battle for the 2023 championship up a little bit. But as you mentioned earlier, Joe, we're just about it, just beyond the halfway mark of the 2023 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour season, meaning anything could happen from here on out.
It'll be Justin's third win of the season here tonight, backing his wins at Riverhead and New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the month of July. And he grabs another one here tonight. Momentarily, Justin will climb out of the race car and get ready to go. Ron Silk second. Eric Goodale was third. Austin Beers, Craig Lutz rounded out the top five. Bobby Santos, Patrick Emmerling, Doug Kobe, Anthony Cecily, and Tyler Ripkema, the top 10 in the running order here this evening. Woody Pitcat came home 11th, 12th for Jake Johnson. Max Zackham 13th, 14th for Ken Hagee, 15th for Melissa Fifield. The balance of the running order: Dave Zapienza, Anthony Nocella, Andrew Kraus, Kyle Bonsignor, Matt Hirschman in 20th, Eric Berndt, Anthony Bello, and Matt Swanson was the running order here tonight in the Thompson 150. The crew is all there. They were the individuals that got it done on pit road and put this 51 car out in front, and that was one of the difference makers here tonight. Ryan Stone with the ball cap in back just walked out of victory lane. The mastermind behind this operation. As the crowd begins to file out here at Thompson, this crowd came out for a race of this intensity, and it certainly paid off here this evening. Justin Bonsignor about set to climb out of car number 51 tonight. He's victorious. We'll send it down to victory lane in Jesse Punch.
He's one of the best here at Thompson Speedway, picking up career win number 13. Justin Bonsignor is your winner here tonight. Justin, congratulations, career win number 13. First time back in victory lane at this place, though, in a few years. How good does it feel to be back?
Feels amazing to tie Teddy Christopher in the all-time win list here. It's something we've been wanting to do for a couple years now, and for a place with so many wins, we really lost our confidence over the last year and a half here, and we got lapped a bunch of times in that October race. And Stone went to work on his car and tried something really different today, and missed it a little bit on the first set, but it was really good on that second set. And I was kind of just trying to mind the gap there with Ronnie as best as I could, and I didn't know how much he had left in the tank. But that last restart, he likes to lead me into the box, and he's really good at it. But it was a good race down into one, and he gave me a lot of respect there. So just want to thank Phoenix Communications, Clearcom IT Solutions. They got 75 people up here in turn 3 and 4 tonight. M3 Technologies, Robert Yates Racing Engines, Fury Race Cars, Ken Massa, Ginny Massa, Ryan Stone, the whole pit crew. Pit crew got us out the lead tonight. That was huge and made the race a lot easier. And I just want to say I left the flag up there in turn 1. That's where John Blewett was killed. And I saw Doug Kobe do that years ago, and I always wanted to do that. And today's the day that we lost John all them years ago. He was the biggest badass there was, and if we could do anything to honor him, that's pretty cool. So just want to thank all the fans for coming out. We love being back at Thompson. I hope you guys love being here just as much. And on to Langley.
Justin, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's Justin Bonsignor, a beautiful tribute here with his winning checkered flag. Win number 4 of the season for the 51.
So Justin Bonsignor victorious here tonight. Ryan Stone, crew chief, comes in to offer his congratulations to his driver, capturing another victory here this season. As Ken Massa, car owner, comes in and offers congratulations as well. The celebration, I'm sure, will carry well into the evening and back on to Long Island, where Justin Bonsignor is from. They will celebrate well into the evening their success here tonight, and another strong run for that team. Ronnie Silk had a really strong run here today in a good race car. Wasn't quite strong enough to find room around this 51 car of Justin Bonsignor tonight, though, and he will come home in the runner-up spot. Let's hear from our second-place finisher, Ronnie Silk.
Ron Silk, your second-place finisher here this evening. Ron, what was going through your mind there when that final caution came out?
I don't know. I think I would have been better off trying to get him. I don't think I could have got him anyway. He was a little bit better than we were. He could roll the center a little better than I could. Good effort. I was really loose the first run, and we made some aggressive changes to tighten it up for the second, and we did that. We just got it a tiny bit too tight. But congrats to those guys, and thank you to my guys. They did a great job and worked hard all day, and we'll try again at the next one.
That's Ron Silk, second-place finisher here this evening.
So Silk comes home in second. Eric Goodale had a quick race car tonight. Again, he was back trying to get back to victory lane like he did here last October, winning the World Series of Speedway Racing here at Thompson. Backed that up with a solid third-place finish here this evening. Nearly had a car that could challenge for the top spot, but a little bit of contact between he and Doug Kobe early on, and was able to rally back from that. Let's go down and hear from our third-place finisher with Jesse.
Third place tonight, Eric Goodale. Eric, best finish of the season, running not a full-time schedule this year. So what are your biggest takeaways here out of your run tonight?
Don't run on the top of the 16. He used me up twice there at the end. Kind of knew it was coming, but held on to it. We had a good car. We had a good pit stop. The guys put me in position to win. We just weren't the same the second half of the race. I felt like we had the car to beat in the first 75 laps there. So just missed it a little bit. I asked for no changes. You know, I felt like the car was really good, but just lacked a little bit of drive there at the end. So always good to finish on the podium, especially when my boys and my wife are here. So it's a good night all around.
Is there anything to chat about with the 16, or is that behind you, racing deal?
It's just, you know, move on to the next race and just know it's coming. I mean, it's how he races with us. So I expected it, and I kept it together, kept it out of the fence. So we brought it home P3. It's a good night.
P3 for Eric Goodale here this evening at Thompson.
All right, the thoughts of Eric Goodale, third-place finisher here this evening. Celebration continuing down in Victory Lane along the front straightaway here at Thompson Speedway. Justin Bonsignor, Pete, what more can you say about his performance tonight?
Well, he knows his way around Thompson Speedway, and though it's been a bit since he's been to Victory Lane here at Thompson, he went back to all the notes and certainly had the right setup tonight, as he had him covered here to win the Thompson 150.
Hugs all around for Justin Bonsignor and that team. It's been a very eventful night here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. It all started with Austin Beers on the front row. Doug Kobe at the green flag jumped out early on and led for a majority of the race. But boy, we saw sparks flying, we saw spins, we saw action all throughout. And in the end, it was a couple of veterans who battled for the win in the form of Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk, but it wasn't without a bit of drama and action all around the racetrack. Thompson, the victory went to Justin Bonsignor here tonight. He captured his 13th career victory at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park and stays pace in the championship hunt for the 2023 Whelen Modified Tour crown.